Savvy Business Radio, drawing out the best from our guests with our host, Christina Nichman.
Our guest today is founder Leena Paditar of CoinUpApp. Since 1938, March of Dimes had a vision that spare change could help eliminate a disease like polio. CoinUpApp is an innovative mobile app that provides a platform for donors to give to their favorite charitable causes effortlessly. The app is free to download and was designed to have people give to the causes they are most passionate about, making it easy for their spare change to have a major impact. Find out how you can donate to your favorite charitable causes at CoinUpApp.com. Hi, Leena. Welcome to Savvy Business Radio. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me. Great. Looking forward to speaking and sharing more about CoinUp today.
Oh my gosh, and so am I. I'm so blessed that we were connected to you and Jesse connected us because you're doing amazing work out there and I just love the concept. And you're going to share that with our audience, how it works, CoinUp, and how it can connect people to their favorite charities and to March of Dimes, which is a wonderful charity that's been around for over 80 years now, non-for-profit. And before we go to sharing all of your wisdom, share with the audience a little bit about your background, how you came to creating CoinUp.
Yeah, great. So it's funny that you mentioned March of Dimes because they were actually kind of somewhat of our inspiration. Organizations like the March of Dimes have been collecting spare change, physical spare change, that is, since the beginning of time. Franklin Roosevelt actually started March of Dimes. He was one of the original founders of March of Dimes, it was actually called something different back then. But they wanted to raise funding to eradicate polio, which Franklin Roosevelt was also born with. So what they did is it was Depression era. It was a tough time. So they said, listen, everybody send in your dimes and nickels and pennies and we'll raise as much as we can to help the research for polio. And, all the change started pouring in. People were able to do that and they raised tons and tons of money. So like a little bit adds up to a lot is really what it came down to. And if everybody just does a little bit, it can really make huge impact for any organization with all their missions that they're trying to accomplish. So we wanted to make, now that we're becoming a cashless society, how do we keep incorporating that spare change mentality into continuing to support our nonprofits? That's kind of how it came about.
Well, it's really interesting. I mean, I've seen the checks and balances to having cashless. I mean, I kind of love just carrying around my debit card and just getting to swipe everything and using your iPhone or smartphone. But, you got to be careful because I guess at times I lost my debit card last year and someone went to town and had a little bit of fun. Yeah, I was like, whoa. But yeah, you just have to guard. And one gal told me, a business owner that came on and said, hey, one thing I've made a habit of doing being on top of my finances is to check my bank account on a daily basis. So therefore you're aware of what's going on. But what I love about CoinUp app is that it allows you to kind of donate without realizing it. And we have so much change. We get change. We go to, even if we have cash in our pocket, we buy that cup of coffee, we get 50 cents or a quarter back. It kind of just builds up. Sometimes we leave it in a big jar in our house or sometimes in the bottom of our wallet or purse. And this way, if you use your debit card for CoinUp app, you're donating to a cause and then not even realizing that, this money that you're just letting slip behind the cushions of your couch or something is actually making a big difference. Share a little bit about that.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. So basically, for the greatest thing about it is that you can donate as little as $5 a month through our app. There's not many platforms for fundraising where you can donate that little, but we understand that there's a lot of people who want to be a part of something big, but they may not be able to write large checks today or even write checks at all because a lot of people don't carry checkbooks. Mm-hmm. But, people want to donate, do whatever they can, even if it's just a little bit. They might have just graduated college or just started a new job. So maybe they can only do $20 a month. But this is an easy and convenient way to donate basically, either a cup of coffee or a lunch every month that they would, normally have. And it goes straight to a charity that they're passionate about and a cause that they're passionate about. Mm-hmm. The great thing is, too, that you can control your giving. So you also, when you pick your organization, the nonprofit that you want to give to, you also set a monthly limit. So your spare change keeps adding up, but it only goes up to a certain amount that you set. Mm-hmm. It can be $20 a month if that's all you want to do. And so we never go over that. So you're still in control every month. And at the end of the year, you get a tax donation receipt that lets you know that, your organization received the full amount of your donations. And you can use that for as a tax donation receipt when you do your taxes at the end of the year.
Yeah, I've done that when I've gone to church and other charities I've donated in to. I've gotten that receipt from them, and you use that for your taxes. But what's great about this, I think me and a lot of other people, I know that when I buy little bits here and there, we forget about the spare change. We don't even think about it. And as often the case, I remember a couple of years ago, it was a really tough time for me as I was growing my business, and I was a little low on cash. And I said to my friends, hey, do you have I think I asked for $10 if they could lend me $10. And she said, I didn't have cash in the house, but what I did, I went to all the little kind of cups we had with change, and I went to our, no joke, our cushions.
Right.
I went to our cushions and all of our pockets, and she dug up $22 and gave it to me. And I was like, thank you so much. But here, isn't that something? But it goes to show that we don't think about, we have so much spare change that we kind of just lose track of. And this would be a great way for that spare change that's out of sight, out of mind. You're not even using, you're not even thinking about, to go to something great to help someone out there in the charity of your choice that means so much to you.
That's exactly right. And they say that if we were to collect all the spare change that's sitting around in couches and coffee cans and everything like that, there's literally like millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in spare change sitting around couches and, where we don't even notice it. But yeah, that's basically the concept, like you don't even notice the giving, but if everyone's doing a little bit, it really adds up to a lot for these organizations. It can be very meaningful. Just think about it. Even 1,000 people donating $20 a month could create $20,000 income stream every month for those organizations. Yeah. For all of us, it's maybe, the price of a lunch or a dinner once a month, but for these organizations, that kind of income can really support their mission. And then, the organizations themselves don't have to worry about spending all their time fundraising and trying to keep asking their donors for more and more. They can actually just rely on the stream of income and actually just execute on the mission. Because we're so lucky that we have, individuals that are willing to actually execute the mission, give up their time and, whether they're volunteering or whatever it might be, to actually go out there and take care of everything, because not all of us are able to do that. We want to support them also, the organizations, as much as we can.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. And just like you said earlier, it doesn't matter the amount. I mean, $5, I don't think there's a person out there, no matter where you might be in your income level, where $5 is not something you probably be able to put aside a month and then also contribute. And this is where community comes in, where the mass of us coming together creates such massive change. And I don't think people realize, they were thinking, I only have $5 to give. What could that possibly do to change the life of any organization? But like you said, I mean, I think I once said I'd written a book, and someone said, hey, if you just put that book on Amazon and everyone just paid $1, like say 100,000 people read it and loved it and paid $1 on, what's that thing that you use on Kindle, you'd make $100. I mean, of course, you'd have to give a little bit to Amazon, but it's the power of a small thing. If a lot of people are being part of it, it turns into a huge thing that can help a lot of people.
Right. So one of the things that we do that I get really excited about is a monthly snapshot. So when you do give on a monthly basis, you'll get a little monthly snapshot from CoinUp that says, thank you so much for your $20 donation. Because of that, we were able to provide, 40 meals at an orphanage, or, 20 days of day camp for, children in a, third world country. And, for as little as $200, you can build one clean water well for a small village in a third world country. So $200, I mean, if you just donate $20 a month, at the end of the year, it's $240. You've actually created one well in a village that provides clean water for that entire village.
That is just massive. That is just massive, the change that can go on. And people wonder how they could solve world poverty. It's that one little bit at a time together. It doesn't have to be, I think people think drastic changes take, like, you need to be a millionaire or a billionaire. And really, it just takes everyone just a little bit to make massive changes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You don't have to be a millionaire.
I mean, you can do a little bit more, perhaps. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be great. Yeah, let's do it. Their spirit change can round up a little more, but either way, we want everyone to be included and feel like they can make a difference. And, it's a new measure of happiness or success to be able to give and, build satisfaction around providing for another. Yeah. Right. I think the whole different generation of success or, happiness that we're defining ourselves by.
Absolutely. And tell me your personal story. What kind of prompted you in particular to say, this is something that needs to be done? I know the solution, how to make it happen. Was there a moment?
Yeah, very interesting. So, growing up, we visited India quite a bit. And when we would go to India, there was just so many little kids and even babies on the streets, begging for food, begging for money. And I just knew one day I had to come back and help all of them. I couldn't. What makes me really sad is when someone's so vulnerable, they're so vulnerable and they're so innocent and they're on the streets, by no fault of their own, and I just felt like we have to take care of them. How do we all take care of them? And I always thought at some point in my life, when I retire, when I have the ability and the freedom and the bandwidth, I'll go back and help these kids, and create orphanages and homes and whatever we can do to feed them and clothe them and educate them. Yeah. And, but the last few years I've been consulting with various companies and I see a lot of waste, also water waste, paper waste, electricity, all these things. And I'm like, gosh, how do we get to the fundamental root of these problems and solve things? And I was looking at different platforms and, I was looking at social impact companies, social impact apps and platforms, and there really wasn't much happening yet. And I was thinking about the fair change concept, because we see that, different restaurants, we see, or at the grocery store where you can round up your transaction or add $1 to your grocery bill and, it goes to charity. And I was like, wow, wouldn't it be great if we could do that all the time with every transaction? Yeah. And, people get to pick their own charity, and it all just started coming together. And we started building this technology and started, one brick at a time, literally just kind of, moving forward, trying to figure it out. I love innovation. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 15 years. Wow. And this is my 8th startup, actually. And a lot of it has been a path of innovation. So I've never been afraid of creating something new and dealing with the challenges that come along with that, as well as, trying to find the workaround with, for something that I really believe in.
Yeah.
So we started building this and we went to Apple, and Apple said, oh, well, we don't accept mobile donation apps. So they kept rejecting us at a time where apps were getting accepted, within a week, you would get your app normally accepted. But with Apple, they said, we don't accept mobile donation apps. It's just a really highly regulated, the nonprofit world is a very highly regulated industry. We don't want to have any problems. We don't really know how to manage the funding and all that. And I said, oh, well, I've created solutions for all of these things because, I have a CFO background. I've been a CFO for 15 years in most of my entrepreneurial ventures. And I figured out how to manage all of that. And, I sat with Apple, and it took us 3 or 4 months, and I talked to probably 20 different people at Apple to make this happen. And finally they said, you're right. You've done a great job, and you're the first mobile donation app that we're going to approve. Whoa. Because we can see what you've done. Yeah, it was really big news for us. And that really has given us so much validation, and it's kind of the, motivation to keep going.
Yeah. And it let them know that I think all businesses, they want to help, but they want to know it's not going to actually hurt them in the long run with, in the way of, like you said, regulations and such. They want to, at the back end, we want to make sure that this app can actually serve people. And at the end, we're not, not actually hurting the process. Now, you said you've been an entrepreneur and CFO. This is great because what I see is the creativity in the business and entrepreneur world that leads to great changes and value into the marketplace. And this is just one of the versions. Are you also a tech person by trade yourself?
I'm not. I'm really a finance person. I've what do you call it? Sorry, I'm blanking. I've been a CPA. I took my CPA exam out of college, and then I worked in the banking industry for a few years, and I went to business school at MIT Sloan, where I focused on finance and entrepreneurship.
Wow.
That's where I really got a passion for finance.
That's awesome. And what's great about your passion in finance is it allows you to put that to use to how you can use this wonderful app that can help people. So you're using your gifts and talents to help many people.
Yeah, sometimes you don't realize the path that you're going down and why it's happening. And then all of a sudden you're able to put it all together and look back and see, how your path got you to where you are. And it's a beautiful thing, that journey.
It is. I mean, I grew up in Virginia, and it's funny. I was into music and opera and violin, and my mom's like, "Why are you doing all this? You're not going to be an opera singer. You're not going." She used to feel that I'm a all trades, but what does this really mean? And today I'm doing broadcast. Yeah. And I can see the vocal training come in handy, and the speaking has come in handy, and opera has come in. It all means something. At the end of the day, your gifts and talents come together, and all those bits that you learned can consolidate to make big differences later on if you use them.
Right. And it's really amazing. You learn all these little skills. I mean, I remember my dad forced me to take typing classes when I was in high school. I'm like, Dad, this is so stupid. No one's using typewriters anymore. Come on, And I'm telling you, I can type so fast all day long. I'm like literally on my computer typing away so fast because of those classes, and he was right. He was right.
I love that because right out of high school, my mom enrolled me into the YMCA to do the same thing, to administrative assistant and typing and all this stuff. And I'm like, who uses this stuff anymore? That's ancient. But yeah, it is true. All those skills come together and they do help. Where do you see this app going to? And is there anything on the future, other apps or any other directions you're planning to go with with this particular or any other particular things you have in the works?
Yeah, great question. So, right now we have about 200 organizations signed up with us, actually partnered with us. And all of our organizations are qualified. So we make sure they've been around for a couple of years, that they're properly filed with the IRS, and, hopefully spending their fundraising on programs in a very efficient way. Mm-hmm. So we do look at our organizations to make sure they meet a few basic criteria to join our platform. So we're really proud of that. We definitely want more nonprofits to keep signing up with us. And we really want to engage donors for every one of our charities. We're hoping that everyone, starts downloading the app, picking something they're passionate about. And a lot of the organizations are really small or mid-sized organizations you may not have heard about. But what's so great is you can actually choose by category or by zip code to find an organization that might be close to you. So maybe you're passionate about giving back to the veterans. And so you can do, type in your zip code and pick a veteran charity, and all the charities in your within 100 miles of your zip code will show up that have to do with veterans. So you might learn about a new organization that way. Or you can pick an organization you already know of, or you can also recommend an organization that you might not see in our app yet. And we'll do our best to go out there and get them. But basically, we really want to keep encouraging nonprofits to sign up with us, which is simply done through our website at www.coinupapp.com, CoinuPapp.com. So they can go there and just register with us. And, we review all their applications, and we have someone reach out and follow up with each nonprofit. And then from the donor side, they can either go to the website also at CoinUpApp.com and register to donate to their favorite charity, or they can download the app from the Apple Store. So that's where we're at right now. Mm-hmm. And then what we'd like to in the future is have an Android app come out later this year, as well as we're having a lot of demand internationally. There's a lot of countries that are contacting us and saying, we would love to have this app out here in Australia or, the UK or whatever. And so we're super excited about, trying to go a little bit more global by the end of this year.
Wow, that is just so amazing. And what's great about it, now, can they donate if someone's interested in more than one charity, or do you have to just pick one? Can you pick one every month, a new one? How does that work?
Yeah, good question. So right now, everyone can choose one charity of their choice each month. They can choose a different charity every month if they'd like, but right now we're keeping it really simple so that you don't have too many choices as you sign up, because sometimes it's overwhelming to have too many decision points. So we want to keep the app really simple and convenient and make sure everyone just gets it right now. Eventually, we will be adding features like, adding multiple credit cards, having a choice of multiple charities that you'd like to choose from. And that, again, will come, later this year when we really feel like that's what the market's demanding. And we do get asked that question quite a bit. Mm-hmm. So it is one of the features that we'll be adding is to allow you to pick various charities. But really, you're only donating maybe $5 or $10 or $20 a month. So sometimes it's also hard to split that up among 3 charities every month. So it's kind of nice to be able to choose a different charity every month and, just get excited about learning about a new organization. Since new organizations are signing up every day with us, you never know what you might find.
Yeah, and it might even push you to actually go out there and volunteer at one of these organizations if they're nearby you. It's a great way to
that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And what
I was going to say, we love to, create donor relationships for our organizations, right? Especially with the younger generations who are just starting to give and learn about giving. It's great for the nonprofits to have a chance to, show what they have and what they do so they can start incorporating younger donors, but then also build a long-term relationship with them so when they get to the point that they may have accumulated wealth or have more to give, that they're really passionate about this charity by that time.
Yes, absolutely. And you mentioned something else earlier on, just briefly. You said that in organizations around the United States, you noticed that there was so much waste. And we had someone on, I think last year, it was sustainability in business. And she really talked about how to go into a business, consult with them and see where waste is taking place, whether it be in water, food, electric, whatever it might be, and get people to think about their resources differently and use them differently so they're actually using it to the max and not wasting. And I like that you mentioned that. Have you found a lot of businesses be pulled to also be donors as well?
Oh, yeah. I mean, businesses are, really being demanded upon to give by their employees as well as their customers. So the research shows that all things being equal, if there's two restaurants across the street from each other, the restaurant that gives back is the one that the customer will go to.
Yes.
So it is really important that, businesses, corporations, e-commerce companies are all showing that, that they want to be giving, and reflecting that as part of their core values.
Yes.
Because their employees and their customers really want to see that.
It's interesting you say that, Leena, because many years ago we were doing a project in college and they asked us to go, this was an idea in selling and how you influence people to buy. And I was like, do I have to do this? So you had to go out there and
right.
Yeah, you had to go out there and you had to sell an invisible product to someone on the street. I was like, someone shoot me now. And it had to be something like an invisible hula hoop or whatever it is. And I'm like, you're killing me here. I got to, you would pick at something in a hat and I pulled an invisible burrito. I was like, you got to be kidding me. But what was interesting, the woman who did the best in the class, I don't remember what her invisible product was or whatever, but she went out there and she said that this was something that the college was doing. She didn't tell them at first it was a course or an assignment, but she said every dollar that people donate or buy for this purchase goes $1 to help children who are in need in South Africa or something like that. And
wow.
Now, the thing was, the whole part of the assignment is you're not supposed to take their money. Once they give you the transaction, pull it out and hand it over to you, you tell them it's an assignment and you don't take the money. But she, by far, made way more money than anyone in the class, and it had that donation of charity aspect that no one else thought of. And I was like, wow, so people really do want to give to the companies they feel they're helping other people.
That is so cool. That's amazing. Yeah, that just reinforces exactly what we're saying. And, we actually do have some retailers that are coming to us now and saying, online retailers, how can we work with you? And we want to provide a charitable angle to our platform. So we are starting to do some things like that. And they're all a little bit different, but it's really interesting. But you can check out a company called STS Blue, which is doing a cross promotion with us, where you can use a CoinUp20 discount code to get 20% off any of their products. And at the end of the month, they will give 20% of the proceeds back to one of our charities. It's called Empower Her, which supports girls and women, who've been in difficult situations and just, providing shelter and education for them.
Yeah.
So they're doing a great thing.
Yeah, that is so awesome. And it's interesting. Many years ago, there's a company I got the chance to work with. It was an interview. And what drew me to that particular company was the fact that they do major philanthropy and they make it mandatory that every 6 months for 2 days out of the year, employees had to go to some charity event and actually serve as a volunteer, and they would get paid their salary. So it was like you're going to work, but you would go and serve at this charity organization. And I was like, that sold me. I was like, I want to work there. And so it not only affects the people who buy from your company, it also affects the employees that work with you. They want to work with companies that are giving and giving back to the, yeah.
So one of the things that we're doing also is we're implementing employee roundup program. So we're, companies have all their employees do coin up, right? So they can coin up to the charity of their choice and however much they want. At the end of the year, we give that employee report to the employer, and then the employer can choose to match all the donations of their employees. Ooh. So it's great because now the employees are choosing. It's just a little bit every month. At the end of the year, the employer supports their employees, but also gives back. And it's just, a whole new model that we're implementing now. So we've been really excited about the different things happening for us.
Wow, Leena. Now, any business, because this is a business, we have a lot of businesses listening in. If they want to participate and have their employees and also do the matchup program, how do they do that? Do they contact someone in particular that can get started on that? What do they do?
Well, they can definitely contact me directly, Leena, Leena, at CoinUpApp.com, or they can send an email to our customer service email, which is hollerback, HOLLERBACK BACK. Holler back at CoinUpApp.com. Either way, they'll get a hold of us, and we will definitely reach out to them and follow up.
I love that. Holler. Well, this has been such a pleasure having you share, Leena. I'm so excited about what you guys are doing out there, and I know it's going to jazz up our listeners to join you as well. Thank you so much for coming to share your great wisdom today on Savvy Business Radio. And again, everyone go to CoinUpApp.com and participate today. That's correct, right?
Thank you. Yeah, you got it. Thank you so much.
You betcha. Well, Leena, you have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for coming to Savvy Business Radio and sharing your wisdom today.
You too. Take care. Thank you so much.
Savvy Business Radio broadcasts worldwide via a large podcast network, celebrating business owners, entrepreneurs, influencers, and successful individuals. Find out about our paid sponsorship opportunities or how to become a guest. Call 732-474-7375 or email Christina at SavvyBusinessRadio.com.